Hello everyone and welcome back to another of my videos. Today I'm going to be reviewing and showing you an eye look using the new Tarte Foil Finger Paints palette. So this is for the Rainforest of the Sea collection and it retails for $39. And if I'm not mistaken, this palette did just come out not too long ago. I honestly have swatched a few of them, so I already kind of know a little bit about them. I haven't used them in an eye look yet. I have just swatched them when I was, after I bought it. But here is what the palette looks like when you open it up. It's very, very shiny, as you can see. And one thing that I already don't like about this palette is if the labels or the names of the shades on this palette are kind of hard to tell which ones are which. Maybe it's just me, but like there are little names right here, like above this one, and then there's one right here, and I'm kind of like which one goes with which, but I have kind of gotten acquainted with it and I know what the shades are now. So anyway, this palette is very special because Tarte hasn't come out with a foil finger paint formula before, so this is their first palette using this formula. I will just say that this palette is a lot like the ColourPop Super Shock shadows. They feel very creamy. I have one right here. They feel almost as creamy as these, but they actually put them in a palette. I do know that ColourPop will not put these in a palette. They always have them in this container, even if they do come in a box palette slash thing. I'm not really sure what you all want to call it, but it's like a box with a couple of these Super Shock shadows, but they won't put them in a palette like Tarte did. So I'm just gonna swatch this and I'll show you all that they are a lot alike when it comes to the pigment. There is the Super Shock shadow, and then I will swatch the one from the Foil Finger Paints palette. Now I'm not comparing shades right now. I'm just trying to show you all the formula and how they are alike. So here is the Rainforest of the Sea collection one from the Tarte palette, and here is the one from ColourPop. They are a lot alike. As you can see, they're almost metallics. They aren't really shimmery. Actually, three of them aren't really shimmery in this palette, these three. But these two are shimmery. They are almost like toppers for your shadows. You can wear them alone, or you can use them to top off the other shadows. So when you are using these shadows, I'll just take the gold, the Sailor's Delight color, and I'm gonna put it on my hand, and then I'm gonna show you all the topper and what it does. So here is the color without the topper on. So it is very metallic, and it's more of a burgundy shade. And so now I'm gonna put the lightest shade from the Stargazers, a little duo, this color right here, and I'm gonna put it on top of that burgundy shade. So here's what it looks like first, and then you rub this on it and it turns a different color. I think that is so stunning and so crazy how that little topper can just make it turn into an orange shade, or honestly, you can turn any of these shades to any different colors. So now I'm gonna use that same color, the Sailor's Delight one, and I am going to swatch it, and then I'm gonna put the other shade in the Stargazers duo, this darker silver color, and I'm gonna put that over top and see what it does. So this one doesn't really turn it any color. It just makes it more shimmery instead of more metallic. So that one I don't think really changes the shade at all, but the lightest color in the Stargazer one, the almost white iridescent kind of color, does change the eyeshadows. Alright, so Tarte claims that you can create an entire look using this palette. So I am going to be creating an entire look using only this palette on one of my eyes, and then I'm just going to use it as a lid shade on my other eye. And I'll just compare them and see how they perform, and whether I like using this palette for an entire look or if I like using it just for a lid shade. Okay, so my foundation and everything else is done, but I am going to be using the Tartelette Amazonian Clay palette, the all matte palette, to create one of the looks. So my eyelids are already primed and everything like I would normally do with a eye look. So first I'm just going to be taking the shade Wanderer right here. This light brown color. This palette is so nasty because I use it all the time. But I am going to be doing this look on this eye. So I'm just going to apply this to the crease. Next, I'm going to take the shade Dreamer right here, this darker brown color, and I'm going to put this in the outer V. I just wanted to make this very simple and very easy as an everyday look on this eye. So I'm just going to be using the shade Gold Coast, this light color right here. And I am just going to be applying this to my lid without any glitter glue or anything like that. And I'm actually going to use a brush to see how it will apply. So overall, I can already tell I do not like applying it with a brush. That is just not my thing. I think they apply better with your finger. So next, I'm going to take the shade Sea Glass, I believe, this darker brown shade in this palette, and I'm going to put this on the outer part of my lid. So far, I don't really know how I feel about it. I'm not really sure yet, but I feel like it is very messy, so do not do your face makeup before you use this palette. But overall, the shades are really pretty, so I'm definitely excited to see what I can do on this other eye. So I'm actually going to follow what Tarte says you should do with this palette, which it says you should put Gold Coast all over your lid, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to use my fingers for the entire look. I just do not like the brush application. Next, I'm going to be taking the shade Sailor's Delight, this burgundy shade, and I'm going to put this in my crease. Next, I'm going to be taking the lightest shade in the Stargazer's Duo, and I'm going to put this on top of where I applied the burgundy shade. And next it calls for the shade Sailor's Delight, the burgundy shade, under the lower lash line. And lastly, I'm just going to put Gold Coast on the inner corner of my eye because I feel like it got lost a little bit. Okay, and next I'm just gonna apply some mascara, and then this will be it. Okay, so I'm gonna give you all my final thoughts on this palette. I personally really love this palette. I love these shades in this palette. I personally like using it as a complete eye look, if you know what I mean, like how I use it on this eye as all of the colors. I really like using it that way better than using it with other shadows. I just feel like it doesn't work that well with other shadows. And one con that I have of this palette is that it is super messy. Like, I know a lot of palettes, they say that they work better using your fingers for the shimmer shades and stuff like that. And this palette is definitely one of those palettes that you almost have to use your fingers with. It's really hard to use a brush with. So that causes for your hands and stuff to be very messy. And I know with glitter shades or shimmer shades or metallic shades, anything like that, they are going to be kind of messy. So definitely don't do your face makeup before you apply this eyeshadow because it is very glittery and very messy. But overall, I absolutely love this palette except for those few little things. I know all palettes can be perfect. There are some things you're gonna like and some things that you aren't gonna like. But honestly, I could see myself using this palette a lot. I really, really like the shades in this palette. They are right up my alley. And for the price point, $39, I think it's honestly reasonable. I know that a lot of the Tarte palettes are, I think, $46, and you get this many shades. but they are just matte shades or shimmer shades. This is a new palette, and it's almost like very luxurious looking, I think, especially with the front of the packaging. It is three-dimensional, if you want to call it that. Like, you can feel the stones on it and everything like that. And of course it has that sleek gold on the back. And I really like the packaging of this, so I do think that $39 is a reasonable price. I don't think that is too much. I don't think that is too little. I honestly think that is a good price point, and I think they did a really good job with that. So if you all love your shimmer shades, your metallic shades, or your glittery shades, I think this palette will be perfect for you all. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to comment down below your opinions of this palette if you have tried it out, or any video ideas you all would like for me to do. And thank you all for watching. Bye.